outro episódio de Heart of CUR, o podcast caminha nos trabalhando e profundidade de lo que é o mundo de aviação aqui na Corsão. Nós talagamos ser a conhecer cultura persona, departamento, moveção, atividade que tem a ver com nosso aeroporto. Então, awe nós hala e cortina for de parte hope interessante. Como te draai aeroporto? Pensei, nós vamos papia com Michael Hugenberger. Chief Operations Officer de Curaçao International Airport. E pensei, nós estamos na inglês. Hi, Michael.
Thank you. Hello.
Happy to have you in the podcast in this episode, which we will be conducting in English, as previously stated in Papiamento. I have an icebreaker question for everybody. So your icebreaker question is, since you're the COO, if you would be stuck at the airport, so like you can't leave and go anywhere, let's say for 48 hours, where would you set camp? Where would you hang out?
I have two simple answers in my office. No, but
What's so special about your office, Michael?
yeah, because there's always work to do. No, but I have two favorite places at the airport. So actually, one is at Mahuma Hill.
Ah, okay.
Why? Because it's a very unique place. Not many airports where you have such a good view on the whole airport and you see what the operations is. And I like to see aircraft, and so it's great. It's like an open mirador. And the other location is the arrivals area.
The arrivals.
Yeah, so I think you should make a podcast just about the arrivals area, because there you will find everything. You see people laughing, emotions. You see people crying when they come. There are so many things. So this is actually a hotspot of emotions, and I can only recommend everyone go have a half an hour there and watch the people.
And the emotions that come afloat when they welcome someone to the island.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It says a little bit about you also and what you find important. You are originally from Germany.
Yes.
Can you share a little with us about your journey and how you ended up in Curacao as the COO at the airport?
Yeah, actually, it's a long journey to find this destination. I'm not sure whether it's the final destination, but it is the current destination. Yeah, I'm in the industry for more than 33, 34 years now. And my last engagement was in St. Petersburg. Before, I was 7 years in Arabic countries, in the Emirates and in Bahrain. Also managing an airport in my position, like here. I was also in Belo Horizonte. But generally, before that, I worked 27 years for Munich Airport. And with Munich Airport, I was in the international business. I was everywhere around the world where Munich Airport actually had activities. And that's why I knew actually the industry from a very global perspective. And I'm engaged in every area of airport management because of the opportunity I had.
Is there anything that stands out from Curacao since you've been all over the world? Is there something that say, okay, that's typical for Curacao, if that's something that stands out from our airport?
Yeah, so from the airports I managed, I was engaged when it's actually the smallest airport. But it's very good because all the knowledge in all the areas I am covering, I can apply here. Why? Because in a smaller airport, you don't have that diversification in the job profiles and the specialization. So actually, at a smaller airport, you need more cross-qualification. You need a better understanding. In the big airports, someone is doing his job or her job in a very specific area, and many of them do not look beyond their job area. But here you necessarily have to do it because everything is in a smaller scale, and everything is actually in an airport. It is related to each other.
What would you say is the most valuable lesson you've learned from like all your 30-something years abroad that you're applying now in Curacao? Like the most specific thing that you took with you and that's comes in handy now managing this airport?
There are two things. One is actually dealing with culture. It is when you manage people, you need to deal with culture as well, because Curaçao is different. The people are different. They have different emotions, different understanding, different professional attitude. So in the airports I worked, I always had to do with different cultures. European culture, Asian culture, South American culture, Arab culture. So actually, you can learn from from everyone, and you can apply it here. So I think it's good to have this because it gives me an easier buy-in into the management here and in the understanding of the people. So, and this is on both sides because I think the Curaçaoan people are very open, they're friendly, they're motivated, and there's a good opportunity to develop this airport because we have to go a long journey. We have already gone a long journey, but there's a long journey already also way ahead of us, and it can be only done with the people. So this is one point. The other point is actually my understanding of the business because I was working everywhere. So I can talk about master planning. I know about security. I know about airport operations, terminal, aircraft management, fire services, and this is actually part of my function here. I have different areas, and you have to integrate them because one area alone cannot stand without the other. You need to develop two areas together, and it's not only on the airport; it's also with the stakeholders. So these are here the authorities, the regulators, the airlines, the ground handlers. So this is an integration job, a function where you actually facilitate the business.
That's a nice description of what it takes to do your job. But for someone to get a better understanding of what a COO at Curacao International Airport does, what does your job? What is your job description? So, what is under your responsibility here?
Yeah, there are different aspects in this. So first of all, I'm that one who is responsible for the overall operations. So that everything is working well according to safety standards, according to the regulations, and we have provide the capacity. We have from the processes a passenger experience where everyone who's coming to the airport actually, first of all, has a pleasant journey. We provide punctual services, safe traffic, and this can only be done in managing different functions. When I came here, my responsibility was, as I already started with, terminal, asset management, security management, fire services, and at the beginning I also had the technical department, all maintenance, facility management, development. But in part of my journey is also to develop the airport, to develop the organization. And that's why we have decided that we split the organization. We have a separate responsibility on the technical department, while I'm concentrating on these natural aspects of operations, which I mentioned. So it's actually good because I'm also participating in, bringing the change into the organization to make the organization more efficient compared to what it was before. And as the airport is growing, so things have to be split because more and more work is coming up. And to do it professional, to do it with the necessary capacity, you need to allocate specific resources, which I already mentioned. So the generalization is more going to into specification. And this is the journey I'm supporting, and we are on a good way. Our challenges here are big. Why? The airport suffered a lot during the COVID times. So there was, the traffic was going down to a minimum. Actually, the airport was closed for a year. And now we had to recover. The organization has to be restarted. People's work has to be restarted. Maintenance needs to be restarted. And Curaçao is in a very favored position because Curaçao is actually participating more than other regions, even regions in the world, in the tourism industry, in the growth of this industry. And the challenge for us is the growth is so fast that we have to cope with that with the capacity. And this is a challenge. Why? Because we have a specific traffic pattern.
In
So
what sense?
yeah, so we have a airport capacity 2.5 million, but at peak times in the
Yeah.
peak seasons we are already beyond the limit or at the limit. Why? Because everyone wants to fly at a certain time.
Mhm.
So we have two big traffic patterns. So this is the North American traffic which coming. It's coming so between let's say 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And there is the intercontinental traffic from Europe, where we have in the peak period up to 5-6 white bodies coming in a very close period.
Mhm.
Even if we plan them correctly, the nature of the aviation industry is that there is weather irregularities, there are technical issues, so there is always some irregularity, and you have to cope with this on a daily basis. So even you have planned it well, and the capacity would be sufficient because of the weather situation in Europe in the winter, where it's with a high peak season for us here. Uh, Many aircraft may be coming in half an hour, and the capacity is not built for 3-4 wide bodies coming at the same time. So we have to work on this. We work on that in many ways. First of all, we are working now on the master plan. So the master plan shows how the airport can be developed generally. But we also have, in the last 2 years, applied many processional improvements. We are supporting the business with a lot of extra human resources in wayfinding, in management, the curbside with security staff, that we keep the traffic flowing. And we also need to introduce new technology, because with new technology, we can do processes better. We do it more efficient. And this is what we have to do in parallel. So it's a broad development of all these areas. And this is my job.
It sounds like a lot of variables to control on a
Correct.
daily basis. Do you have a certain system or dashboard or something that you can use to help you manage the daily running of the airport?
Yeah, this is actually
Or
part of
are
the development itself.
Mm.
So when I came here to the airport in April 2023, at that time, all the resource allocation of the operational resources was done manually.
Oh, wow.
Simple Excel sheets. We are still in this, but now we are introducing in July a new airport management system, which is about airport database, data sharing with all the stakeholders, while we get more information from them, so we can process this information better. And with more data and more information, and with the system, we actually can provide more management power. We can provide more sustainability and regularity in what we are doing.
so so it's a work in process,
Yeah,
in progress,
yeah.
or it's a work in process that's progressing. Uh, but how do you then now ensure the alignment between the departments that you have to coordinate? How do you manage that on a daily basis? How do you because when you have passenger experience, you have to make you have to take into account, you have to take into account the flow of the people, how you allocate. So how do you make sure that, because I've talked to many other workers here and then they all come under Michael. So how does Michael make sure that everyone is working with their noses in the same direction on a daily basis? How do you do that? How do you align them?
Yeah, so actually we have some guidelines in how we do this. So for everything you need a budget. And for this, in this budget circle, we define what areas need attention. There are different requirements. So there are the regulatory requirements, which are mandatory. So we have to make sure that everything goes according to international and national safety and security standards. So this is our focus. But then comes directly the capacity, the process flows, and in each of this area, the managers have to define what is necessary. And then we have an integrated budget cycle discussions. How much money do we need for the next budget for the next year, and then we see how we can trade it off and set priorities. So this is a very intensive part of our yearly work. We are starting in August, and yeah, mostly we finish before the end of the year, because at the year next year we already have to deliver it. And so this is a budget for the infrastructure, but it's also budget for human resources.
Would you say that this is the biggest challenge you had to face in your career? This handling this fast growing small airport in the Caribbean, recovering from a COVID era?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honest with you. I managed airports for 45 million passengers. I operated in St. Petersburg an airport with 20 million passengers, but also was responsible for whole ground handling. And I thought I can do this all. And when I came here, and I thought this is an easy going, but it's not. Why? Because there are specific challenges to the country and then to the airport. One of it is the workforce. The workforce is limited. So, and we have a challenge on this, and it's not only the airport operator. So everyone, from the ground handlers, security, everyone, because for the airport business, you need a qualification as well. So qualification has to be gained. The people need to go to training, need experience, and only when they have done these courses, they are allowed to do their jobs. And so this is one of the big challenges in the country, because the country is small, but compared to the traffic we have, it is much more traffic than actually the population is. So it's a constant challenge to keep people developing and keep the people in the business.
So, what would be then key to run a smooth operations with this challenge, you would say?
Yeah, I mean, this is
Because those are
natural.
given.
So the workload is actually on some people. And if someone is, for example, calling in, the other one will have to work double. So we have to make sure that actually we provide a good working environment. And we are in competition with others in the country. So there's a hotel industry. There are 4, 5, 6,000 new hotel rooms capacity coming next year. So as we have already challenges now, there will be more challenges, because there's always a trade-off: who is paying better, who can provide better working conditions. And some jobs at the airports, they are hard. We have to say this. We are working here at a very tough climate, so the weather is hot. In the summer, working on the air side, it's something really tough. So we have to appreciate what the people are doing.
And it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, because you
especially for the guys on the runway, or like you said, the baggage handlers, the people coordinating the whole area. There's a lot of responsibility, because you have to be very specific about everything you do, to make sure that you comply with all the regulations, and make sure that everything's safe for everybody. So that sounds like a big challenge. So you think we're up to it here?
Yeah, so
Are we on our way to
definitely
being able
no,
to?
we are a good way, but we need actually an integrated approach. So the airport community, and we have a good relationship with our stakeholders in the process. I said, with the authorities, airlines, ground handlers. But the shortage in the workforce is something which goes beyond what we can do. So it needs to be addressed to the political side, that we have educational programs. We have actually open maybe the workforce market, because if we cannot provide it from the country, we need to cater for this in a different way. This has to be addressed. One of the other challenges at the airport is, and this is actually to every airport, you do operations, and at the same time you have to build new infrastructure. You have to replace systems. And here in our airport, we are happy that we have a still new terminal for departures, check-in. But we already need to go to the next level. So in improving it, For example, just refurbishing the toilets is a challenge because it has to be done on the open heart. So this is something you have to manage on a day-to-day basis to ensure that at the same time when you improve the infrastructure, extend the infrastructure, you keep the processes going. And for us, passenger experience is, yeah, we have it as very high in our priority. We have an own department on this. Customer experience, it's called. And we are participating in an international quality program. It's from our industry provider, which is Airport Council International. We are tested on a monthly basis, and we see how develop up and down, and then this gives us a good indication that maybe something is going wrong, or maybe something is already good, and we see the effect of what we are doing. So we are constantly improving this, and despite we have, last year we had a 20% traffic increase, which is huge. We could keep the quality level as rated by the passengers. And this is quite good, but it will not stop us in improving it further. And we have established special programs that we, together with our stakeholders, that we can care for this and as part of the development of the airport.
In the 2 years that you've been here, what would you say is the thing that you're most proud of as a CEO? Because I hear many challenges. I see that it's like a juggling, it's working towards a goal, it's handling the fast growth. That's something positive, but it comes with its, challenges. But are there specific things in these 2 years you say, I'm proud of this?
It's different. So actually, working at an airport is in my position. I always liked it, so there is always some proudness going with it. But the challenges here are when I came here. This one was the airport certification. This is inherited, and this is inherited because of the COVID. So what was not done during these times actually is an inheritance to me to clear it. And this was a huge challenge. Why? Because we were lacking in some maintenance because we had no traffic, and then all this has to be done now. And with our regulator, we have established, I would say, a good relationship. But the regulator is the regulator, and they actually see the airport from their perspective. So actually, we have to comply in a way they see it as safe. And this is something which is not always what you as an airport operator would like to do, but this is the regulations. So we have achieved the 2 years certificate when I came. And now we are going for a recertification, and our goal is to have a 3-year certificate now. And this is actually something I would then be proud of if we could achieve this in the end of the year.
And we're on our way to achieve it?
Yeah, I hope so. So no, yeah, we have closed all the findings almost from the previous one. And then we have a good starting point for this new certification.
Well, that sounds promising.
Yeah,
So it's nice to hear of all to get another side. So I think when we emphasize on the challenges, we also put a spotlight on the hard work and the dedication of the people, because you know that to keep an airport running smoothly, for people to experience it, to make it grow, to handle the growth of the tourism, it takes a lot of effort from the people working here. So thank you very much for being so honest and giving us such a view of how much it takes from you and the whole team to make this happen. And I think our community can be extra proud when they see our airport like this.
The proudness comes with the people. So you as a manager, and whatever level you are, you cannot do anything without the people. So you have to make sure that you have a good team. And I think we have a very good team. We still need more training. We still more capacity. And people who are working hard may need support by other people, which we don't have right now. Just to make the additional work that's coming with the additional traffic.
Sei segura. We nostra gratitude. We thank you, Michael. Pa ela toma é tempo para papi conosco tocante de trabalho como CEO, então tem episódio aqui enfatizamos na nossa bisa tiki caba e candidato direto não cutim para por drive airport de período depois post pandemia maneira nos conhecer bana dizer com crescimento extraordinário cutim maneira na corso com sua limitação de candidato rende para por drive que outro pero com toque airport aqui a manejar para o último ano sua certificação, vai indo bom para su outro, ando bonita escucha com gente que atrás mais de 30 anos, ron mundo na airport nan ko sirve milhões de gente, que a pensa, walk in the park, toca mira, hey, wa corso, pa chiquito que portar, também tá lugar que tem su costa que ta conta e vale a pena. Então, espero que esse também de Heart of CUR awe boha extra sentido de orgulho para nosso airport internacional e tour suena nan, que tour dia den e fo, tá sinang máximo para ter dry, então e porta, para você sabe que te porta para corso, tá bonita, então que tá cana bom também. Então, com vista riba futuro, para mais minho den sei também. Guarda seguir turno socials lang, para boa se turbo pergunta nang comentário, para sina nos por criar mais episódio, contestar turno que você que sa também dia aqui. Então, guarda catch us next time. Bye.